The climber's journey. I was just a boy when I fell in love with the mountains. They stood tall and strong, and I wanted to climb them all. My country did not care about climbing. People thought it was a silly hobby, but for me it was everything. I wanted to touch the sky. I wanted to feel the wind at the top. I wanted to be the best climber in the world. My family did not have much money. We lived in a small house, and my father worked hard every day. My mother cooked and took care of us. They did not understand why I loved climbing so much. They told me to focus on school, but my heart was in the mountains. Every day after school, I ran to the hills. I climbed rocks with my bare hands. I learned how to hold on, how to move, how to stay strong. There were no climbing gyms, no teachers, no books about climbing. I had to learn everything on my own. I fell many times. My hands bled, my legs hurt, but I never stopped. I climbed in the rain. I climbed in the snow. I climbed when I was tired. The rocks became my home. The wind became my friend. The sky became my dream. People laughed at me. They said, "Why do you waste your time? Climbing will not give you a job. Climbing will not make you rich." But I did not listen. I climbed higher. I became stronger. I told myself, one day they will see. One day I will prove them wrong. One night, I lay on my small bed, staring at the ceiling. I dreamed of big mountains, tall cliffs, and great adventures. I wanted to go to the Olympics. I wanted to show the world that I could do it. But how? My country did not support climbers. There was no team, no coach, no money. I was alone, but I was not afraid. I made a promise to myself. I would work harder. I would find a way. No matter what, I would climb. No matter what, I would reach my dream. I woke up early every morning before the sun. I trained my body. I did push-ups, sit-ups, and ran for miles. My hands became stronger. My legs became faster. I climbed higher and higher. The rocks no longer scared me. The pain no longer stopped me. I felt free when I climbed. I felt alive, but training was not enough. I needed money to enter competitions. I needed better shoes, better gear. My father could not help me. He had his own struggles. So I worked. I cleaned shops. I carried heavy boxes. I fixed broken things. Every coin I earned, I saved for my dream. I never spent it on anything else. One day, I heard about a small climbing competition in the city. It was my chance. I packed my old shoes, my worn-out clothes, and took a bus alone. When I arrived, I saw other climbers. They had new shoes, expensive ropes, and strong bodies. They trained with the best coaches. I had nothing but my own strength. The first climb was hard. The wall was high. My hands sweated. My heart pounded. But I remember the mountains, the wind, the pain. I climbed fast. I climbed strong. People watched me. Some laughed. Some were silent. When I reached the top, I heard cheers. I won my first match. The next round were tougher. My arms ached, my legs shook, but I pushed forward. I won again and again. In the final round, I faced the best climber in the city. He was taller, stronger, faster, but I was determined. The climb began. He moved quickly. I followed. My fingers burned. My breath was short. I almost fell, but I held on. I climbed with my heart. At the last second, I touched the top. I had won. People clapped. They cheered my name. For the first time, I was not just a boy from a small town. I was a climber. I was someone to watch. I had proved that I was more than just a dreamer. But this was only the beginning. Winning that competition changed everything. People started to notice me. A man approached me after the event. He was a coach. He told me I had talent. He asked if I wanted to train with real climbers. My heart raced. This was my chance. But then he said something that made my chest tighten. Training is not free, he said. You need money. I smiled, but inside I felt pain. I had no money. My family had no extra coins. I thanked him and walked away, but I did not lose hope. I worked harder. I cleaned more shops. I lifted heavier boxes. I trained late at night under the stars. My hand bled. My muscles screamed. But I did not stop. Months passed. I entered more competitions. Some I won, some I lost. But every time I learned something new, I learned how to move faster. I learned how to grip better. I learned how to fall and get back up. One day I received a letter. It was from a big sports organization. They had seen my climbs. They wanted to help me. They offered me a small scholarship to train in a real gym. My hand shook as I read the words. This was my dream coming true. I traveled to the city again. The gym was huge. The walls were taller than anything I'd climbed before. The other climbers were strong, experienced, and fast. They looked at me, a boy from a small town with old shoes and tired eyes. Some laughed, some ignored me, but I didn't care. Training was harder than anything I had ever done. The coach pushed me beyond my limits. Faster, he shouted. Stronger, he demanded. My arms ached. My legs burned, but I never gave up. I climbed until my fingers could hold no more. I fell and got up and I climbed again. Every night I lay in bed, exhausted but happy. I was closer to my dream. I was no longer just a boy climbing rocks in the countryside. I was training to be a champion. Training in the gym was different from climbing outside. The walls were smooth and the holds were artificial. Every move had to be perfect. Every second mattered. The coach was strict. He never smiled again. He shouted when I failed. Better, he demanded when I was slow. At first, I struggled. My hands were used to real rocks, not plastic holds. My feet slipped. My arms trembled. The other climbers watched. Some whispered, some laughed. "He won't last," they said. But I didn't listen. I climbed every day. I stayed after practice. I studied the best climbers. I copied their moves. Weeks passed. I improved. I moved faster. I held longer. The coach started to nod when he watched me. One day, he called me over. "You're ready," he said. "A national competition is coming. You will enter." My heart pounded. This was my chance to prove myself. The competition day arrived. The gym was packed. Climbers from all over the country were there. They looked strong. They looked confident. I took deep breaths. I reminded myself of my journey. I had climbed mountains with no help. I had trained alone. I had worked for this moment. The whistle blew. I grabbed the first hold. My fingers were steady. My mind was clear. I moved up, fast and precise. The crowd cheered. I didn't hear them. I focused one move at a time. My hands burned. My legs ached, but I pushed forward. The final hold was near. My arms felt heavy. I reached out. My fingers wrapped around the last grip. The buzzer sounded. I had finished the route. I looked down. The crowd was on their feet. The coach gave me a small smile. I had done. I had proven myself. But this was just the beginning. There were bigger challenges ahead. The real test was still to come. Winning the national competition changed everything. People noticed me. Reporters asked questions. How did you train? Who was your coach? What was your next goal? My name was in the newspapers. My small town was proud, but I knew this was only the start. I had a bigger dream, the Olympics, but getting there was not easy. I needed sponsorship. I needed better training. I needed money. My country did not support climbing. There were no funds, no help. I had to do it alone. I worked during the day. I trained at night. My hands were always sore. My muscles ached. Sometimes I had no energy to climb, but I forced myself. I thought about the mountains I climbed as a boy. I thought about the rocks, the wind, the challenge. I could not give up now. One day, a famous coach called me. I saw your climb, he said. You have talent. Come train with me. It was my chance, but his gym was in another country. The ticket was expensive. I had no money. I sold my old gear. I borrowed from friends. I bought the ticket. The new gym was huge. The climbers were strong. They moved like spiders on the wall. The coach was different. He was not like my first coach. He was patient. He watched my every move. You have power, he said, but you need control. Day after day, I trained. My movements became smoother. My body became lighter. My mind became sharper. Climbing was not just about strength. It was about thinking, about feeling the wall. I learned new techniques. I learned to breathe, to move with rhythm. Months passed. The Olympic trials were near. Only the best would qualify. I had one chance, one climb. If I failed, it was over. But I was ready. I had trained for this my whole life. It was time to prove I belonged. The day of the Olympic trials arrived. The arena was huge. Bright lights, cameras, judges. The best climbers from different countries were there. They were fast, strong, and confident. My heart was pounding. I took deep breaths. I told myself, this is your moment. The wall was tall and full of challenges. I had studied every hold, every angle. I had trained for this. The whistle blew. I started climbing. My hands gripped the holds tightly. My feet moved quickly. I felt the power in my body, the control in my mind. Each movement was smooth, precise. Halfway up, I made a mistake. My foot slipped. My heart stopped for a second. I almost lost my balance. The crowd gasped, but I didn't panic. I focused. I adjusted my grip and kept going. My coach's words echoed in my mind. Stay calm. Feel the wall. I reached the top and hit the buzzer. I looked down. The clock showed my time. It was fast, very fast. But was it enough? I climbed down and waited. The other climbers took their turns. Some were faster, some slower. Then the results came. My name was on the list. I had qualified. Tears filled my eyes. I had done it. I was going to the Olympics. Years of struggle, training, and sacrifice had led to this moment. My country, which once ignored climbing, now had a representative in the Olympics. Reporters rushed me. My family called me. My old coach sent me a message. I knew you could do it. At the Olympics, I climbed with the best in the world. I didn't win gold, but I broke a record. I showed that a boy from a small town with no support could reach the top. After that, climbing became more popular in my country. New gyms opened. More young climbers started training. Now, as an old man, I look back with pride. I see young climbers using the techniques I developed. I hear my name in their stories, and I smile because I know I didn't just climb walls. I built a path for others to follow. I hope this session was helpful. Please like and subscribe to our channel for more English stories. Take care, everyone.